Hey everybody, welcome to another video from Everything Worship. So this week we're going to look at another interesting topic, but I'd like to remind you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, then share it with people who you think this will help, and also remember to push that notification bell so that you don't miss any new videos that we put up. A few weeks ago, we looked at when and how does worship start. So this week, I thought that maybe we might look at another stage from there, and that's how do we do our programming to help our worship experiences in our churches. So today I wanted to look at something else that's related to that, and that's how do we create our worship experience to be effective in our churches. Because I believe that 50% of engage and creating a very, very good worship experience has to do with programming. How have you set up your worship experience? What are some of the things that you consider to be very important and things that you feel that they are non-negotiables when it comes to worship experiences? So I'll give you an example. I grew up in a church that the programming was haphazard. It wasn't the best of programming. There were lots of, doing things on the day itself. There was less preparation, if I may put it like that. I don't even know whether the leaders actually met to look at, okay, what are we going to do on a Sunday? It just seemed like it was on the fly. Like, we're just gonna do this and wing it, if I may use that word. So you would have things like, you're seated in church and maybe it's time for announcements, and the secretary is making the announcements, and then papers are going up to his to the pulpit to remind him of something that he needs to talk about. There was a lot of chaos, if I can put it like that. So you have to understand that when you're dealing with people and trying to get people to be on the same page, or trying to get people to focus on the Lord when they come on Sunday, because that's what the focus should be, we have to be purposeful. And we have to look at certain elements in our programming that might be a distraction, and certain elements in our programming that will take away from us providing that platform, if you like, providing that platform that encourages people to focus on God as they are attending the service. The focus is not on any of us. The focus is not on the people. The focus is not on the pastor. The focus is not on the ushers. The focus is not on the traffic team people. That's not the focus. So what you want is an all-inclusive experience where if somebody walks into your premises, they need to be reminded that Jesus loves them from the time they enter your premises, the gates, if you wish. And that's very, very important, because person who's coming to your church already feels engaged. They already feels, okay, this church is cool. This church, they really love people, and I think I'm gonna have a good time. So you've already won them halfway. I visited a church about maybe like 3-4 years ago, and this is a big church. I don't want to mention the name of the church here, but it's a really big church, and they put out very, very nice worship albums, like really nice. I went to their church because of that. When we entered their premises, we were the first time visitors. We came into contact with traffic people, and nobody welcomed us. No, we just felt foreign. Like, we really felt like we're visitors. And already I was kind of thinking, oh wow, like, am I even going to have a good time here? Now, this is, if I listen to their CDs, I'm going to engage in worship. I'm going to feel nice and whatever. But when I went for their church service, that wasn't the case. So I'm telling you this because it matters. Throughout the service, when I attended that service, it was just, for lack of a better word, it was just weird. I think that Sunday they were having communion. So after the worship started, the worship was awesome. The worship was, just like the CD. And, listening to that, listening to the songs, you're looking at the platform and you're like, hey, I know that person, and yeah, we worshipped. But again, it wasn't engaging. It was like I felt in that worship experience, I felt like, look, I can sit at home and play the CD. I felt like the worship leader, who's well known, was not engaging. They did not engage the people who were there. When it came to, after the worship, they sang songs, and then it came to communion. The way they took the communion was, for me, it was just like, no, this is not okay. So they did it in a funny way. I don't even want to get into that. What I'm getting at is that distracted me. All those things distracted me as a first-time visitor at that beautiful church. It distracted me because why? One, when I walked into the premises, nobody greeted me. Nobody talked to me. Nobody made us feel like we were welcome, because we were new. When we went into the auditorium and had the actual service, there was things which happened which were like, no. So in that instance, like, our focus was not on God. Our focus was on the things that they were doing, which were screaming, look at me, look at me, look at me. You want the experience to be about Jesus. You want the experience to be about, okay, God, you love me, and I'm happy that I'm here. And you want that person to focus on God. You don't want that new person or people to be focusing on the things that are a distraction, drawing the attention away from people focusing on God. That is why programming is very, very important. Now, there's a saying that there is nothing new under the sun, and that everything that is done has already been done better before. Everything that you are doing right now has already been done better before. And people have actually looked at what works and what doesn't work. So I feel like, as churches, and if you're listening to this, you're a pastor or a worship leader, be encouraged, because the problem that you're facing, somebody has faced that problem and they have figured out what works. I feel like in Zambia, most of our churches, we admire other churches. Like, we admire churches across the street, or we admire churches that we see on TV, and we say, hey, wow, why can't my church sound like that? Or why can't my church be like that? But I think we ask the wrong questions, because the question that you're supposed to be asking is, what are they doing? What have they done that gets them to be like that? That I can look at that and say, hey, okay, that's interesting. But also, with the story that I just told you, if you look at this church, the church that I visited on TV, and you watch their services, you'll be like, oh, wow. Or you listen to their music, not really watch the services. Maybe if you watch, they do something with the cameras and stuff, whatever. But yeah, when you listen to their music, you'll be like, wow, that church, I just want to go there. But you don't really know what goes on the ground. So what am I saying? It's okay to admire and to say, look, we want to be like that. We want to do that. But ask the right questions. What does it take for your worship team to sound like that? What does it take for a church to be that effective? What does it take? Because it costs a lot. It takes a lot. I'll give you this example. Like, I am fanatic. I just love watching singing shows, and I love watching talent shows, America's Got Talent, Idols, all those shows. I like watching those shows. And the reason why I like watching those shows is because I love looking at how are they doing their production. Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, it's American Idol, it's not like they're Christians or whatever. But yeah, that's where you're wrong, because everyone who's involved in production and what they are doing is that they are creating something that is attracting people. So what they are using are principles that attract people, and they draw people's attention. So you can learn from everything. These principles have been figured out over the years, and they work on people, unless you're telling me Christians are not people. So no, I can't watch that show, or I can't learn from that person who's not a Christian on how they are doing it, because then, they're not Christian. So what they're doing is not Christian. No, they're people, and what they have is a skill. So that's a whole another topic to talk about. But my encouragement to you, if you're listening to this and going, hey, what do you really mean? But learn from those things. So there's something that they do, and I always, every time I see this, I always think, look, as a Zambian person who has grown up in Africa, and I see maybe for example, in American Idol, somebody has to perform, and then they give them a whole grand piano, like a whole grand, big, huge piano on stage, and it's right in the center, and the song starts, and they play that thing for 8 seconds. They get up and they start doing their thing, and they don't sit on it again. I always think to myself, like, what just happened? Like, that was 8 seconds. Why did they put that thing up there for 8 seconds? And I think, what would a typical Zambian think? And I'm a Zambian because I'm thinking right there, I'm thinking, that's not necessary. 8 seconds, just a waste of time. How do you hire something like that just to use it for 8 seconds? Like, that doesn't make sense. And I think that's where the difference lies. Because and the difference between a person who really wants to work hard and create this thing that they're committed to, and the person who just wants the end results. I feel like when you want to achieve something, you would go the extra mile to make sure that you add every little thing that helps with what you are doing. So it matters. Those 8 seconds that the grand piano is there has been put there because of what they want to achieve. When you look at the stage, what they want people to see. And those 8 seconds add to the whole 30 minutes of the performance. So what am I saying? The little things matter. It's the little things that help with the whole experience. It's the little things that help. It's the little things that, look, if you're an usher, what process do you have to seat people? Do you just tell them, hey, you go and sit there? Hey, oh, you've come. Okay, sit there. You have to have a process and a procedure. Okay, when people come in, we're going to fill this place out first. We're going to sit these guys here. Oh, if we don't have, if our auditorium is flat, okay, let's put the tall people behind. Let's have all the medium and short people maybe in front. So you have to have those processes. You have to think, those are the little things, but that's what makes the whole experience better. If you are singing, again, you have to make sure that what you're doing is not destructive. Work on the little things. Work on the little things. Have a set program for every Sunday, which says what you're going to start with, how much time you're going to take. And if you're making announcements, have the announcements written out that everybody during the week, they know what's going to happen on a Sunday. You don't want to leave anything to chance, because that's a dangerous place to be. So you want to do the little things, and the little things will help you now achieve what you're looking at and what you admire. So it's one thing to admire, yeah, we want to be like that. Yeah, I want to be like that. I want to be a good singer. I want to do this better. I want to be the best lawyer. But you don't really know what it takes. Ask the right questions. What does it take to become like that? Then work on that. Work on the little things. Programming matters. Don't leave anything to chance, and do not wing it. Do not wing it. Have a plan for Sunday. Have a plan for Sunday and let that plan work. and keep adjusting that plan and see how things will move, and how you will be blessed by that, how you will bless people by that. So it's possible. It's possible for us to improve. It's possible for us to give people a very, very good worship experience, an experience that's less destructive, and people are focusing on the Lord, and they can worship and come out of your Sunday service and say, I had a brilliant time with the Lord. I had an awesome time and God spoke to me. You don't want people coming out of your service and saying, hey, the sound was awful. What was wrong with that pastor? Why was he doing that? Why was he jumping on the pulpit and doing backflips? You don't want such kind of things. You want people to have a brilliant and awesome experience that they can say, we had a brilliant time in the Lord. I hope you're encouraged this week. In 2 weeks' time, we'll start looking at the more technical things for worship leaders, and just how can you do these things that we're actually even talking about here. How can you put those things into practice? We'll look at that in the next video to come. Have a great week, and God bless you. We'll catch you in the next one.